This is not a normal ship. It is a floating industrial machine built for jobs most vessels could never attempt. It is closer to a city at sea. Decks, cranes, pipe systems, power, workshops, and workers moving across a steel landscape. Its name is Pioneering Spirit, and it was designed to change how the offshore world is built and taken apart. The job sounds almost absurd. Sail to a giant oil platform and handle structures that usually belong to the horizon. This vessel can lift entire offshore platform topsides out of the sea, not as a tiny part, but as one massive module. Instead of cutting everything into pieces for months offshore, it can complete the key lift in one controlled operation. From above, the ship looks like two enormous hulls joined into one machine, with a huge gap between the bows. That open bow slot is one of the strangest and most important parts of the whole design. The slot is the secret, because the vessel can approach a platform and place the structure between its two bows. It does not simply park beside the platform. It can straddle the topside, almost surrounding the target before the lift. Then the ship lowers itself with ballast water, using its own weight and buoyancy as part of the lifting system. Massive lifting beams slide under the platform structure, preparing to take the load from the offshore legs. But the ocean is never still. The sea moves, the platform moves, and the ship itself moves with every swell. So the lifting beams are motion compensated, adjusting to the waves instead of fighting them blindly. That compensation keeps the alignment under control while the sea tries to push the whole operation out of position. Then the ballast changes. The vessel rises, and the platform begins to leave the structure that held it above the water. In that moment, the weight transfers onto the ship, and the platform becomes cargo. The largest topsides it is designed to lift can reach up to 60,000 tons. That is not a crane picking up a container. That is a ship carrying away a piece of industrial city. Pioneering Spirit is 382 meters long, longer than many of the most famous passenger ships ever built. With lifting beams and pipelay equipment included, its working length can reach about 477 meters. Its breadth is about 124 meters, so from the front it looks less like a ship and more like a moving harbor. The deck feels like a floating shipyard, with space for huge pipe sections, heavy systems, and offshore equipment. At the stern, the vessel can also handle enormous steel jackets, the skeletal structures below offshore platforms. These jackets are the underwater legs of the platform, built from steel members that disappear into the sea. Its jacket lift capacity is up to 20,000 tons, which means the ship can remove more than just the deck above water. That is why Pioneering Spirit changed offshore decommissioning. It made some of the biggest removals faster and more controlled. The old way often meant cutting platforms apart offshore, with people working for long periods in weather, waves, and risk. This vessel can carry the largest pieces back to shore, where dismantling can happen in a controlled yard. But Pioneering Spirit is not only a heavy-lift ship. It is also one of the most powerful pipe-laying vessels ever built. Inside the vessel, pipe sections can be welded, checked, coated, and pushed through a production line at sea. The pipe leaves over a long curved stinger at the stern, guiding the steel line down into the ocean. In deep water, that pipe is controlled like a giant steel ribbon, bending without breaking as it descends. To keep all of this stable, the ship uses dynamic positioning instead of relying only on anchors. It has 12 azimuth thrusters, powerful units beneath the hull that can turn and push in different directions. Each thruster can help the ship move sideways, rotate, hold station, or correct its position against wind and current. Together, they let the vessel hold position with extreme precision beside platforms, pipelines, and offshore structures. That precision matters because the ship may be working next to live infrastructure where one wrong movement can become expensive. Power, ballast, sensors, thrusters, lifting beams, and control systems all work together like one giant machine. The scale is hard to understand until you see a person on deck, reduced to a tiny figure beside the steel. Every strange shape has a reason. The split bow, the stern systems, the open deck, the stinger, and the thrusters. It is not beautiful like a classic ocean liner. It is beautiful because every part is brutally functional. The problem it solves is simple to say and almost impossible to do: remove giant offshore structures from a hostile sea. So engineers built a ship large enough to become the tool, not just carry the tool. Pioneering Spirit arrives, surrounds a piece of the offshore world, lifts it, and takes it away.